Shalom. I'm Dr. Ora Horn-Prauser, and I am the CEO and the Academic Dean at the Academy for Jewish Religion. And it is such a pleasure to welcome you to our virtual tribute event, an evening where we have the opportunity to honor such deserving alumni and colleagues, and to get at least a taste of the beauty, the warmth, and the true love of Jewish life that makes AJR the very special institution that it is. As you all know, this program was originally meant to be live, and it was meant to include the ordination of 4 new rabbis. Due to the pandemic, the ordination part of this program has been postponed. Stay tuned for more information on that. We did not, however, want to go through this event without hearing from our ordinees. We're therefore opening the program with them and statements from each of them about how they experienced their AJR education. I invite Lisa Sachs to share her thoughts.
Thank you. Learning is life, a supreme experience of living, a climax of existence. That's my favorite Abraham Joshua Heschel quote, and it also sums up my feelings about the Academy for Jewish Religion. I came to AJR 6.5 years ago to put structure around my learning, to open myself to new ideas and experiences, and to explore my long-standing dream of becoming a rabbi. Not only did AJR feed my passion for learning, it also taught me how to learn, how to think about an issue from multiple perspectives. So now I can distinguish between the Mishnah Torah, and the Mishnah Brura, and I also cherish and can lift up the myriad traditions within the Jewish world. My time at AJR has indeed been a supreme experience of my life and has transformed me both professionally and personally. I will be forever grateful. Now I would like to introduce Cantor Idan Irlander to share a few words.
Thank you, Lisa. As we witness the changes and the constant evolution of Judaism, it becomes more evident that pluralism is a critical element within Judaic diversity. The Academy of Jewish Religion's pluralistic approach is thoughtful and intelligent. The faculty members at AJR encourage their students to take a little bit from every practice in order to better serve today's diverse communities. At AJR, we've emphasized the value and implementation of the principle Elu ve'elu. These, but also those, are the words of the living God. We've also been encouraged to practice the aspects of tolerance and kevod habriot, the idea that a person can honor God by honoring others. Elu ve'elu. Everything we learn at AJR prepares us to accommodate the Jewish community's diversity and to better answer our congregants' needs. I enjoyed learning with my chevruta. The AJR students come from different backgrounds and different denominations, which is a pluralistic aspect itself, and they contributed greatly to the learning experience. I want to thank the rabbis, faculty members, the leadership, staff, and of course my fellow students for their warmth, tolerance, kavod, acceptance, and understanding throughout my journey. Pluralism at its best. AJR is a family, and I'm proud to be one of its sons. Thank you. Chazan Luis Katan, please share your experiences.
Thank you, Dan. First and foremost, congratulations to all the honorees. And as we celebrate virtually, like many other things that we do at this time of physical distancing, we keep to strive for social connection. So thank you, AJR, also for enabling this so needed time for connection. This is also a time of uncertainties, and the most common line we keep hearing is, I don't know. I don't know when this is going to end. I don't know what the world will look like after this. I don't know what the world, what would be of our jobs, of our loved ones' futures, etc. What I do know is that my time at AJR was transformative. What I know is how inspiring is the commitment to excellence showed by its faculty and its administration. What I know is also that as a rabbi, I aspire to effect change in others and in the community by providing Jewish tools that help other people to develop a meaningful life with music, knowledge, skills, compassion, passion, wisdom, and spiritual connection. Thank you so much, AJR. And now, Robert Green, share your words with us.
Thank you, Louis. Good evening. It's great to be with everyone. Learning at AJR has been a life-altering experience. It isn't just about understanding what's in our texts. It's about living our Torah of embracing pluralism. It happens in the classroom, and it happens in the community when we encounter other clergy who are engaged in enriching Jewish lives and in the process, our wider world. Learning at AJR draws us close to one another and to the great diversity of Jewish understanding. Together, we are Israel as we wrestle with God, Judaism, and one another in striving to be our best and to help bring out the best in others. As I see it, this is the gift of an AJR education, and it's a blessing. And now I'm very pleased to introduce William Liss Levinson, who would like to offer greetings.
Thank you, Robert. Kol ha'olam kulo geshet tzar me'od, geshet tzar me'od, geshet tzar me'od. Kol ha'olam kulo geshet tzar me'od, geshet tzar me'od. V'ha'ika, v'ha'ika, lo לפחד, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. The whole world is a narrow bridge, and the main thing is not to be afraid. Words uttered in the early 19th century by Hasidic master Reb Nachman of Bratslav. He would be surprised that more than 200 years later, his saying appears to have been written precisely for and about the Academy for Jewish Religion. From our inception nearly 65 years ago, we have been committed to not only boldly crossing bridges, but we are creating new bridges to be responsive to the changing needs of Jewish communities, families, and individuals. AJR is a beacon of pluralism in a world that cries out for precisely that. Broad and diverse perspectives characterized by open-mindedness, civility, and respect for the range of views that comprise our worlds. We cherish many different approaches to Jewish life as equally valid and acceptable ways of serving God and the Jewish people. In the midst of this pandemic, we continue to operate as a fully functioning school that has already effectively integrated distance learning into the very fabric of our educational processes, long before it was the only way to function. And it is enveloped in an atmosphere of community and sharing. With more than 70 students in 18 states and even beyond the US, we have seen nearly 60% growth over the past few years. We have a dynamic cantorial program with a new focus on peace studies, a Cantors to Rabbis program, a new Kobo program that enables someone to pursue ordination both as a cantor and as a rabbi simultaneously. And we also offer a master's degree in Jewish studies. And we look forward with optimism at the possibility of accreditation by the Association of Theological Schools. As an educational institution, we are judged by the communities that we create and by our students and alumni, the fruits of our labor. Thus, we stand here today proud of and humbled by our honorees, our ordinees, our B'nai Mitzvah class, and our Mahadran class. You are the links from a rich history to a future with limitless potential. On behalf of the Board of Trustees and the larger AJR family, I welcome all of you tonight and invite you to join us in these holy endeavors. Whatever form your support takes, be fully a part of our efforts to boldly create new bridges and the bridge builders for the future, Jewish leaders for the 21st century. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Honoree Ceremony, our indefatigable Chief Executive Officer and Academic Dean, who will present the Marbeh Shalom Award to Rabbi Sid Schwartz.
Thank you, Bill, for your really kind words. It is an honor and a privilege to present the Marbeh Shalom Award to Rabbi Sid Schwartz. Sid is a legend in the field of clergy education. Through his work, whether in Panim, the Institute for Jewish Leadership and Values, CLI, the Clergy Leadership Incubator, Knesset, Communities of Meaning Network, and Chazon, and we could probably keep going, he has created learning opportunities that have formed the basis of creativity and thinking by rabbinical and cantorial students and by ordained rabbis and cantors. For years, our students told each other that no matter what they did outside of their coursework, they needed to attend one of Sid Schwartz's retreats. And they returned from those retreats invigorated and charged up and just ready to put into practice all that they had learned. Rabbi Sid Schwartz has striven over and over to redefine community and to bring new ideas into the synagogue world. Though he is not one of our alumni, I'm sorry to say, he exemplifies so much of what AJR stands for: creativity, reaching people where they are, serious principled devotion to Jewish community, a strong belief in collaboration over competition, and just a love for Jews and Jewish community. His latest article on responses to the coronavirus says so much, and I am not referring to the ideas mentioned there, and they're very worth reading, but rather I was touched by the constant reference to the need to innovate and to create on the one hand, and the need to simply be there as a pastor for one's community on the other. Most people can only focus on being an innovator or being a pastor. There are far fewer people who truly understand that those two sacred paths must go together. Rav Kook, the first Ashkenazi chief rabbi of Israel, is famous for having said, Hayashan yitchadash, v'hachadash yitkadesh. The old will be made new, and the new will be made holy. That feels like a proper motto for Rabbi Sid Schwartz himself, and for what he has taught his many students and disciples. There is so much in our tradition that is precious, and at the same time, we need to be willing and able to create and renew. And we need to recognize that that process of reimagining is extremely holy work. Sid, you have been a model to so many. Your impact has been felt on most synagogues throughout North America, whether they know it or not. You have shown Jewish leaders how to have the wisdom to create and the courage to act. We all have learned much from you, and we look forward to continuing to learn from you as you go on, charting the course of the American Jewish future. For this and for so much more, we are very proud to be able to present to you the Academy for Jewish Religion's Marbeh Shalom Award. Mazal Tov.
Words. It's a privilege to receive the Marbeh Shalom Community Service Award from the Academy for Jewish Religion. I also want to voice my love and indebtedness to my wife of 36 years, Stanley Perlstein. 36, of course, is a legendary number in the Jewish tradition. We're told that there are 36 hidden righteous people in the world. I think I may have lucked out and married one of them. Every day I count my blessings for having Sandy as my life partner. Over the past 15 years, I've had a chance to meet dozens of AJR students at retreats for rabbinical and cantorial students that I helped to organize for seminaries across the denominational spectrum. The work has been immensely gratifying to me because I so believe in the value of spiritual leadership, not only for the Jewish community, but for the world at large. I would have said this even pre-COVID. I now say it with added emphasis because at times of crisis, even religious skeptics are desperate for spiritual leadership. What AJR does is truly holy work, and I commend you for doing it so well. I want to congratulate the other honorees this evening, as well as the four ordinees that have been recognized already this evening. The world is hungry for your spiritual leadership. One of this year's ordinees is Lisa Sachs, who I met at one of our student retreats some years ago. Subsequently, Lisa became my assistant for several years, working on all of my national projects, and I feel so blessed to have gotten to know her. So to Lisa and to your three classmates, Mazal Tov. I'd like to offer a few thoughts on spiritual leadership in the age of Corona, and then a few thoughts on the rabbinate in general. The COVID-19 pandemic is an unprecedented challenge to those charged with offering spiritual leadership to Jewish communities. Virtually everything we have done and the way we have done it is up for grabs. That includes synagogue life. It has only been 2 months since most synagogues in North America closed their doors and took their programming online. Rabbis have been under enormous pressure to transition their worship services and their programming to a medium in which they were less than expert. On the whole, you have done this amazingly well. Even as they needed to provide pastoral services to congregants who are anxious about their health, the welfare of loved ones, and economic insecurity. Rabbis have become literally spiritual first responders during this COVID-19 crisis. Jews who are members of congregations are keenly aware of this fact and are deeply appreciative. It is also clear that the fear and social isolation imposed on all of us is making people value spiritual community in a way that has not been typical for most non-Orthodox Jews in the past. As a result, we stand at a moment that invites visionary leaders to reimagine the nature of spiritual communities. For those of you who are beneficiaries of the Torah taught to you by AJR, now is the time to think about the riches of our Jewish tradition that help people not only survive, but to flourish as human beings and to grow as Jews. To rabbis, I say, try to be servants of the larger mission of Judaism. Do not allow yourselves to be constrained by the way institutions have been doing things for generations. Now is the time to help reimagine the shape of compassion-centered, justice-seeking, and soul-nourishing spiritual communities. A final word. In what can only be considered a delicious irony, my application essay to rabbinical school that I wrote some 45 years ago included the confession that I was very ambivalent about even becoming a rabbi. I was also resolute that I would never serve ever as a congregational rabbi. On my personal preference list, the pulpit ranked dead last of how I wanted to pursue my rabbinate. But I was wrong. I've had the privilege of serving 2 congregations, each for 8 years. I continue to teach and lead services at a Dot Shalom Reconstructionist congregation in Bethesda, Maryland, where I am the founding rabbi. There is no greater honor than to have the chance to be present with families in their moments of greatest joy and in their times of deepest grief and hardship. There is no greater honor than having people say to you, "You are my rabbi." In addition to serving 2 congregations, I've also had the chance to lead several national organizations and projects that have allowed me to have a wider impact on the shape of the American Jewish community. Every day, I consider myself incredibly lucky and privileged to be a rabbi and to represent an ancient tradition that has wisdom that can inspire a spiritually bereft world. The Academy for Jewish Religion provides just those tools to its students. May AJR continue to do its holy work and its needed work for years to come. Thank you again for this honor. I will now cede the virtual bima to Cantor Rika Timon, who will make the next presentation.
Thank you, Rabbi Schwartz, for your inspiring words. I am Cantor Rika Timon, and it is my honor tonight to be here to introduce our Alumna of the Year recipient, Cantor Meredith Greenberg. Cantor Greenberg graduated from AJR in 2009. Born and raised in Hollywood, Florida, she followed a path as a professional soprano, attending Interlochen in high school and receiving a Bachelor of Music and Voice from Manhattan School of Music. Pursuing a career in the cantorate is often not a straight path, and in her prior musical career, Meredith performed professionally as a soprano soloist in both Jewish and secular musical genres, taught music in New York City schools, and for a few years even co-owned a catering and opera company called Diva's Delight with her spouse, Leora Perlman. In her final year at AJR, Cantor Greenberg found her spiritual home when she joined her congregation, Temple Ner Tamid in Bloomfield, New Jersey. Her work there includes teaching preschool to adult learners, conducting services with her wonderful rabbinic partner, Mark Katz, leading the TNT choir, attending to the pastoral needs of her congregants, and celebrating life cycle events with Ner Tamid family. She and her loving wife, Leora, and their 3 sons have truly made a home with this wonderfully supportive community. A shout out to her parents, her family, and congregants who are joining us here tonight. Although we didn't attend together, I actually graduated from AJR 20 years ago today. I got to know Meredith while she was a student at our seminary. From the moment I met her, it was clear to me that she was a rising star in our AJR constellation, and that with that rare combination of Yiddishkeit, intelligence, passion, warmth, musical depth, and a thrilling voice. I was delighted we had the chance to perform as soloists together at a Lincoln Center concert back then, the first of many AJR concerts and performances she would be part of. Cantor Greenberg has proudly participated in the life of AJR since ordination, including co-chairing and contributing at major fundraisers, singing at ordinations, hosting a home AJR concert, and teaching at the school. Meredith loved being an AJR student and graduate, and continues to serve the school as an outstanding emissary in her beloved congregation, our Jewish community, and beyond. I am delighted and honored on behalf of the Association of Rabbis and Cantors, our alumni organization, to present Cantor Meredith Greenberg, the 2020 Alumna of the Year Award. Cantor Greenberg.
Thank you so much, Cantor Timon. I'm so honored to be recognized by my esteemed alumni, and including our 4 new ordinees. This is an extraordinary institution. I'm so proud to be part of it. I also want to send love to my Temple Ner Tamid community. Thank you for that. Shout out to them already for always supporting me and for your trust, for allowing me to serve you in the most holy and meaningful ways. Finally, to my family for your support and your love always, especially, of course, to my parents, my wife, Leora, and our 3 children. The piece I'm about to offer is an original composition, an adaptation of a teaching very, very close to my heart by the Musar master, Rabbi Yisrael Salanter. You'll also hear piano accompaniment by my wonderful accompanist, Edward Ahlstrom, who arranged the piece. This teaching reminds me that as I seek to make meaningful contributions in this life, I must first do the work of awakening on the inside so that real and good works can manifest in the world. This is When I Was Young. When to change the world, but I found it was difficult to change the world. So I tried to change my country instead. When I found I couldn't change my country, then I began to change for good. When I was young, I wanted to be the change. So this time I focused my attention on my community, on my people. But then I discovered that I couldn't change them. And so I changed again. When I was young, I tried to change the world. Then my country, then my family. Now I am older still, and I realize the only thing that I can change is me. Is me. I've come to know that if I could have made the change, my family could have joined me, and together change community, and in turn change the country, and we could all indeed have changed the world. It's now my honor to welcome Rabbi Linda Schreiner-Kahn.
Thank you, Meredith, for that beautiful presentation. As always, you are so moving when you sing and when you speak, as you taught us today in our earlier meeting. It's my pleasure this evening to honor Rabbi Enid Lader. And I do have formal things to say, but I need to tell you a story. On January 5th, as some of you who are in the New York area may recall, there was a demonstration across the Brooklyn Bridge where Jews of all stripes gathered together and walked across the bridge. And as we were waiting to cross the bridge, we met a group of individuals from Ohio. It was a large group of individuals from Ohio, and I started a conversation with a local reporter who'd come with them, and I mentioned that I knew Rabbi Enid later, and this woman who was the reporter said, "Oh yes, she's been honored by our community." And I thought, yeah, that sounds like Enid, and also that Enid hadn't really talked about that very much. That's part of who she is. When I was asked to serve as vice president of ARC, the Association of Rabbis and Cantors, 6 years ago, my first question was, who is going to be the president? Because it needed to be someone that I could work with. And as soon as I was told that it was Enid, my yes was almost immediate. Because I knew Enid. I knew the kind of person she was, and I knew that we could do some amazing work together. Enid has led ARC for the past 6 years. And think about it. She lives in Cleveland, Ohio, and she comes for all kinds of events to the East Coast because she did it as a student, so why shouldn't she do it as the president of ARC? She's always there when you need her. I want to say the other thing that Enid has done is that she is an exemplary leader. So I decided, for me, she's an exemplary leader. What are the 10 leadership qualities, the top 10 leadership qualities that make a good leader? Well, the internet tells me it's honesty and integrity, confidence, the ability to inspire others, commitment and passion, being a good communicator, strong decision-making capabilities, accountability, the ability to delegate and empower, creativity and innovation, empathy. However, there was one quality that seemed to be missing, and one that Enid definitely exemplifies, which is an incredible sense of humor. And when you're leading a diverse group of people across many generations with varying points of view, having a good sense of humor is key. And Enid has that. You may not think a good leader needs to be able to laugh at themselves or at any given situation, but let me tell you, it makes all kinds of things possible. Finding the humor in the absurd gives us the capacity to move forward, particularly now in these difficult times. Humor, caring, chesed, that is what she exemplifies. She is kind and patient and gracious, and we have been blessed as a community to have her lead us. Her ability to collaborate cannot be underestimated, along with her ability to get things done when things need doing. ARC has changed significantly under her leadership. We have moved to an expanded vision of what ARC is and can do for its members. And that expanded vision is on display even now as we, members of ARC, have used the technology at our fingertips to reach out to members in various ways. Every Tuesday, we have a meeting, not to talk about ARC, but to talk about ourselves in this time of COVID, to share our hopes, our dreams, and most of all, our fears as we lead various communities. She has created spaces for us to come together across the generations of ARC. Enid is has brought, and is still bringing, and will continue to bring ARC into the future, because even though I am becoming its next president, her advice, her wisdom will be so important as we go forward. And I want to tell you all that she has made time to do all of this while being honored by her local community in Cleveland, by being the rabbi of a synagogue in Cleveland, and having a family, not to mention doing childcare for the latest member of that family, Evan. So finding time for us, the members of ARC, has been indeed something that we are very, very grateful for. Her model of leadership has been one that we can take into our communities by sharing the burden with others, by letting us know when help is needed. She has taught us how to be more effective clergy. Well, at least she has taught me. None of us can do it alone. And I am so, so grateful that she has been my friend and teacher over these years. It is with great pleasure that I invite Rabbi Enid later. I can't speak anymore. Great pleasure that I invite Rabbi Enid later to speak as we honor her this evening.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your kind and gracious words, Linda. I am truly thrilled and honored by this special recognition this evening. What can I say? AJR is a very special seminary with very special people. I was hooked during my first visit over 18 years ago. I was brought to tears in experiencing such dynamic and diverse faculty and students, and then thinking, OMG, could I actually become a rabbi? It took me 3 years to make the decision to pursue a lifelong dream. And just 10 years ago tonight, May 12th, 2010, I sat with my fellow ordinees as Neshama Karbach and her gospel choir singing backup sang her father's Kiva Moed, the time has come. And after ordination, the time had indeed come, not only to serve my beloved congregation, Beth Israel, the West Temple, on the west side of Cleveland, Ohio, but also to serve, so to speak, my fellow alumni. I was asked to help organize and co-lead 2 trips to Israel. One included AJR students and alumni and their congregants, and one was an interfaith trip planned with and for the alumni of the College of Mount St. Vincent. They were both amazing opportunities. I was asked to help maintain lines of open communication between AJR and the ARC. I was then invited to join the ARC board as secretary and then as president. Did I skip a few steps? I stepped into shoes filled by such able and knowledgeable and talented people and found that one size does not fit all, and the position becomes what one puts into it. And so 6 years have gone by, filled with renewed financial support for AJR, for scholarships, and for placement. 6 years of creative liturgy awards highlighting the creative, intelligent, and compassionate work and talents of AJR's rabbinic and cantorial students. 6 years of making the step-by-step process of joining and supporting the work of a variety of social justice organizations and causes. Following a process which has felt like 6 years of making connections, being invited to apply for, and being accepted to take our place on the Jewish Welfare Board, founded in 1938, which manages the process of clergy becoming chaplains in the armed services. This says so much about the well-deserved recognition of AJR in preparing rabbis and cantors, and about ARC as a professional and alumni association. And over the past 6 years, our professional development opportunities have grown to include guest speakers, our own members as facilitators of meaningful learning and discussions, an alumni retreat, and for the past 2 months, during these challenging pandemic times, weekly opportunities to come together to support each other as rabbis and cantors. Of course, none of this was accomplished by one person. The preferred pronoun of ARC is we. All this and more is what we have accomplished together. It has been both a humbling and exciting opportunity to serve you, and to serve with you. What a blessing it is to be associated with this association of rabbis and cantors and with the Academy for Jewish Religion. Ki va moed, the time has come to move on to the next book in the Torah of our lives. Chazak, chazak, vanit chazek. Be strong, and may we all continue to strengthen each other. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Michael Casper, and it is a pleasure for me to be here with you all to be part of this celebration. In 1996, a talented, promising, and sensitive young rabbi suddenly died. This Mahadrin class that we honor tonight lost a colleague and dear friend. The Academy lost a gifted graduate and ordinee, a musmach. The Jewish world lost a promising light. His family, well, they lost a brother, a husband, a father. Rabbi Gabriel Kirshner, Zichrono Livracha, had been ordained at AJR just a few years before, and at the age of 36, he was no longer with us. We often say, may his memory be for a blessing. Today, Rabbi Kirshner's family remembers and honors his life by establishing a fund that will bear his name. And so that blessing comes to this sacred community of rabbinical, cantorial, and master's students. The Rabbi Gabriel Kirshner Wellness Fund will make it possible for any AJR student to access the sort of initial mental health help he or she or they need, regardless of ability to pay. We all recognize the need for quality psychotherapy. Finding that professional can be daunting, especially in times of desperation or crisis. The Wellness Fund will connect AJR students to the appropriate provider who can make initial assessments and help to find a good match for the ongoing work that is needed. More so, it offers support, hope, and even love at a time when it is those essential elements of humanity that are at their most fragile. Ultimately, it is the student body that benefits most, but it is the entire academy, administration, board, faculty, and alumni that join our students to say thank you. Thank you to the Kirshner family, who have so generously and courageously chosen to honor Rabbi Gabriel Kirshner's memory here this evening. Please know just how appreciative we all are. Thank you. And now we are very pleased to share a video montage which celebrates our Mahadrin class. Enjoy.
We are very happy to honor our Mahadrin, AJR's rabbinical and cantorial graduates from 1993 to 1995 for 25 years of service to the Jewish community and to the wider community. These are people who dedicated years of intense textual and spiritual study with us all those years ago, and have since grown and blossomed in wonderful ways that neither they nor we could have anticipated. We are both proud of them and indebted to them for the many different ways in which they have brought God's teachings and love into the world for all these fruitful years. Cantor Susan Alcott is a founder of the AJR Cantorial Program. She has served in several pulpits in Queens, New York and Westchester, New York, serving all ages. One constant in her career has been how she has cherished the children she has taught. She really loved all of them. Cantor Alcott also served on the Board of Trustees of AJR. She's been a recipient of several awards, including the Founders Award from AJR and the Sol Meisel Award for Excellence from the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. She has performed in concert at Lincoln Center and numerous other venues.
I think I was happier at the Academy for Jewish Religion, and I really owe the rest of my life to them.
Cantor Leslie Friedlander is a founder of the AJR Cantorial Program. She came to AJR already holding a master's degree in voice. She has served as cantor and educator at Union for Reform Judaism congregations for the past 32 years, currently serving Temple Isaiah in Great Neck, New York. And Cantor Friedlander has served as a faculty member at AJR, as well as president of ARC, the Association of Rabbis and Cantors, AJR's professional alumni association.
And it took me 6 months to call the dean because I thought it was going to be an old man with a beard and a Yiddish accent. And like, what did I know? It was Shahama. So that's how it started.
Rabbi Judith Frankel Bardak began her profile for the companion journal for this ceremony with the words, "I am forever grateful to the Academy for Jewish Religion." And she concluded it with the words, "I am blessed." AJR, the Jewish community, and the larger community are the ones who are similarly grateful and blessed by her pulpit work in Scarsdale, New York, and New Rochelle, New York, and by her teaching at Western Connecticut State University.
I'd go to the academy, which was in 2 rooms at Anashikasset at that time. A nice-sized classroom, medium-sized classroom, not big, and then a large closet. That was his space. And I sat down there and I knew this was the place for me.
Rabbi Raphael Goldstein has been involved in the spiritual and physical healing of individuals and communities throughout his career. He was involved in healing in Los Angeles, Phoenix, San Diego, and New York City. He has published several books on the topic, earned a doctorate along the way, and ultimately served as the executive director of Nishama, the professional organization of Jewish chaplains worldwide.
Well, the Academy for me was an opportunity to do what I was drafted by the Holy One to do, which was to become a rabbi, which at the time I was the first openly gay person to apply to the Academy, and I was the first openly gay person to be ordained by the Academy.
Rabbi Sherry Kohler Fox has been at the forefront of cutting-edge Jewish education for decades. She founded Cage and then New Cage, which she continues to serve as executive director. Along the way, she also served as a principal and congregational rabbi, and not least, as interim president of AJR.
As I looked at other schools, I didn't really feel comfortable at them until I found the academy.
Cantor Marissa Khrushchev, along with her husband, Rabbi David Khrushchev, was recently honored with a weekend of celebrations for 25 years of service to Congregation Ahavas Israel in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Cantor Khrushchev was quite involved in the congregation, teaching Hebrew and Judaism to children and adults, and tutoring B'nai Mitzvah, among other activities. Currently, she is proud to be the Director of Programming at the Jewish Federation of Grand Rapids.
Where did I get most of my Jewish education? AJR. Was I equipped to be a knowledgeable spouse and have congregants come to me and ask me questions? Not until I got my cantorial degree.
Rabbi Ariel Lester worked as a teacher and a psychotherapist before she came to AJR. Since her ordination in 1995, she moved to Israel, where she studied at the Pardes Institute and then taught there for 10 years. She then founded a Torah learning center in Jerusalem called Tal Torah, which taught hundreds of students for over 20 years.
The incoming class, of which I was part of, there were 6 of us, and we doubled the student body.
Rabbi Tamara Miller has modeled pluralism in synagogues and organizations in several communities across the United States. She initiated the positions of Director of Jewish Living and Learning at the District of Columbia JCC, Director of Spiritual Care at George Washington University Hospital, and was the founding rabbi of the Capital Kehillah in Washington, D.C. Currently in the Metro D.C. area, she teaches at a Reform temple, serves as the part-time rabbi at a conservative synagogue, and maintains a private practice in counseling.
It wasn't distance learning. I actually had to get on a plane every week to come from North Carolina to Manhattan.
Rabbi Jonathan Pearl, an author, musician, and composer, has, with the integral involvement of his talented family, spearheaded a renaissance of Jewish vibrancy at his Queens, New York synagogue, the Astoria Center of Israel. He has earned a PhD in Jewish studies and serves as chaplain for the Disaster Chaplaincy Services, a clergy liaison with the New York Police Department, and a member of the Board of Governors of the New York Board of Rabbis. AJR is proud, along with Rabbi Pearl, that his daughter Ayelet is currently a rabbinical student at our school.
One of the most interesting times I had was learning the same sugya from a very Orthodox teacher and a very Reformed teacher, such different styles and understandings of the same exact thing, with an amazing display of what it means to be Jewish.
Rabbi Gloria Rubin has been involved in teaching, writing, editing, development of programming and nonprofit development, presenting workshops and writing grant applications. All of that preceded and enhanced her study at AJR and her work as a rabbi. Her participation in the Jewish-Christian-Muslim Interfaith Dialogue Conference in Germany led to a career-long interest in interfaith dialogue. The title of an article of hers testifies to her commitment to this crucial aspect of religious life. That title is Learning About, Learning From, Learning With the Other, Challenges of Interreligious Learning.
To study with people from different backgrounds religiously, to study in a pluralistic setting, which helped me refine my own relationship to Judaism and understand exactly reaffirm where I fit in.
Rabbi Bonita Taylor has dedicated her career to chaplaincy education, working with a number of important organizations, and she co-chaired 9 national conferences for Neshama, the Association of Jewish Chaplains. Bonita earned a doctorate of ministry from HUC-JAR and has mentored students of many faiths in the professional chaplaincy. Bonita has taught at AJR and was honored to receive the Faculty of the Year Award in 2005.
I guess I became a founder of the cantorial school, but I love being a cantor. I feel sad now that I've kind of retired from part of it, although I'm still working with the kids, which I love. And I always have been very positive and very caring with the kids. I want them to love it the way I do.
The one significant thing that I've learned from being a rabbi, and the most important tool you can have to do the most good in the world, is to listen.
The Academy shared one of my deeply held values, which is that of pluralism. And there were, once I found it, I have to say that I had wonderful experiences with teachers and colleagues.
A rabbinical degree or a cantorial degree or your master's degree in Jewish studies, Jewish education, and no education for that matter is ever a waste. It's served me so well in my life, in the different facets of my life.
One of the things that we all loved about the Academy is that people came with real experience, with real questions, with humor and dedication and compassion, and that the Academy, the faculty and the student body really supported each and everyone's individual journey.
And I did everything: weddings, funerals, baby namings, teaching, counseling, workshops. I mean, somehow I made it work.
My aim as a rabbi is to bring Jewishness to people's lives and to make them love being Jewish.
I am happily retired, and before the pandemic, very involved in being a hands-on buddy wherever possible.
It's a nice feeling to know, looking back, that out of those 26 years, I spent 26 years working for the Jewish people and bringing healing and wholeness and wellness and strength to people living with serious illness.
When I look from there and to here, I have come such a long way with the support of people who from the Academy and from the rabbis that I've worked with.
Shalom. I am Cantalisa Klinger-Cantor, Dean of Admissions at AJR, and I would like to share with you a piece of music that has always been very meaningful to me. Ledor Vador, Generation to Generation, by Maya Finkelstein. Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Nagid God Lecha, Ulei Nitzach Nitzachim, Ulei Nitzach Nitzachim, Kedushatcha Nakdish, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador. Ledor Vador, Nagid God Lecha, Ulei Nitzach Netzachim, Ulei Nitzach Netzachim, Kedushatcha Nakdish, V'shivchacha Eloheinu, mipinu lo yamush le'olam la'ed, ki amelech gadol, ki amelech gadol, ve'kadosh Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Nagid God Lecha, Ulei Nitzach Nitzachim, Ulei Nitzach Nitzachim, Kedushatcha Nakdish, V'shivchacha Eloheinu, mipinu lo yamush le'olam la'ed, ki amelech gadol, ki amelech gadol, ve'kadosh Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Ledor Vador, Nagid God Lecha, Ulei Nitzach Nitzachim, Ulei Nitzach Nitzachim, Kedushatcha Nakdish, Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'el, Ha'el, HaKadosh. We are now pleased to present a video montage honoring our B'nai Mitzvah class, those who have served the Jewish community for 13 years.
Each year, the AJR community gathers around this time to honor the class of rabbis and cantors who were ordained 13 years ago. We think of this B'nai Mitzvah class as representing the best of the Academy's hopes for the future and remembrances of where we've come from. A retrospective look back at our history and a hopeful look forward to all that will come. The B'nai Mitzvah class of 2007 includes 4 remarkable human beings. Each has found a community to serve with passion and grace. Each has been called to share their Torah, and each has found a holy community eager to embrace their individual gifts. The class of 2007 stands out for their 4 distinctive voices. Rabbi Cantor Ann Heath began serving the Taunton, Massachusetts congregation, Agudath Achim, in 2003. This summer, she will end her service there and make her way home to St. Louis, where the next part of her journey will unfold. Originally a cantor, she enrolled at AJR to work toward rabbinic ordination. Along the way, she found a home as Taunton's religious leader and school principal. I can tell you that trying to fill the vacancy her announcement has set in motion has not been easy. Rabbi Danny Price retired from congregational life in 2018. We know him as a talented and dedicated musician, song leader, and bandmate. But Danny's place at AJR will forever be marked by his tireless, persistent, and unselfish dedication to our library. It can truly be said that Rabbi Daniel Price created our library and stocked it with thousands and thousands of volumes. Leading a community in Southern Connecticut as rabbi and educator for nearly 20 years has given way so that Danny can spend more time in his adopted home, Tucson, Arizona, spend the Yamim Noraim on Block Island, working as both a rabbi and cantor, and playing more music while singing Gilbert and Sullivan. Rabbi Dana Masit Levy came to the academy and her rabbinate from a long and successful career in healthcare management and nursing. Following ordination, Naples, Florida became her home, and Jewish education at Temple Shalom became a source of energy. Donna has led many, many community-wide life cycle events, but it is her love for and work with seniors that is truly inspirational. Rabbi Masit Levy used all her healthcare expertise in developing the Dementia Day program and in working with Holocaust survivors at the Jewish Family and Community Center in Naples. Today, she is a hospice chaplain and volunteers her time to work with the Alzheimer's Association of Southwest Florida. Rabbi Yechiel Bookband discovered Jewish pluralism at the Hartman Institute and was set on a path leading to ordination from AJR. All this after leading a Masorti community in Tel Aviv for 14 years and spending considerable time in Jewish institutions of higher learning. Since 2004, Yechiel has served the Valley Stream Jewish Center, shepherding it through its institutional life cycle moments. He writes of feeling supported and appreciated there from the very first meeting. Not surprising, as anyone who has ever met Rabbi Bookband will tell you that his interests and inclinations are perfectly matched for a life in the rabbinate.
It's been wonderful to be a part of the AJR community these many years. I came as a student knowing that I was looking for rabbinical education, hoping to be completely prepared to serve the Jewish community, and that's what I found. I found support for myself. I found challenge educationally and in learning how to build community at our school. It helped me in my work in the congregation, learning how to build community outside the school.
And I come from a family, my mother's last name is Danzig. My great-grandfather times 5 was the Chaye Adam. My grandfather, though not a rabbi, he was a chazan and scholarly. And I felt this calling to become a rabbi, not only because it was the family business, but because I always wanted to know more about Judaism and learn more about Judaism and participate in the community in a meaningful way. And so that is what got me to AJR.
Pastoral support is very, very important to me and dear to my heart. And I really found that with the AJR staff and amongst the students. We really supported each other. And that's what made it all worthwhile for me.
I came to AJR in 2003, and I became part of this remarkable community of devoted, supportive, joyful, searching, sharing people. how blessed I was to be welcomed into the AJR community when I came to New York from Israel, where I'd lived 20 years of my life and was starting over on a new path.
I felt completely supported and continue to be challenged by the work that my colleagues do and that all of us have an opportunity to bring to the broader Jewish community.
Anything about what I do or we do as a community, I'm always looking for what it could mean to the greater community. And I think what my story gives is that any one person can contribute in such a significant way, and they may not know it.
I've been teaching Hebrew school, which most people are like, oh, okay, Hebrew school, but actually I love Hebrew school. I love B'nai Mitzvah students. I love teaching them and tutoring them and watching them grow and flourish. And I was on an ethics committee for a very large hospital when I worked in New York City. And now I am a Vitas hospice chaplain, and that is very dear to my heart. I have found my home and I have found my purpose.
AJR connected me with the wonderful congregation, which I served as a student rabbi and have continued to serve ever since. And after 4 years of intensive study and work on one of the most emotional and joyous days of my life and my family's life, I was honored with smicha, with the support of the whole AJR Kehila Kedosha. Toda rabah.
Shalom, I'm Rabbi Jill Hammer, the Director of Spiritual Education at AJR, and I'm here to offer a blessing for our honorees and the Mehadrin and B'nai Mitzvah classes. I want to say I look forward to blessing our ordinees at some point soon. A blessing for the honorees and the Mehadrin and B'nai Mitzvah classes. Our dear colleagues and teachers, we bless you on this day of honoring your many years of giving of yourselves. The Holy One once said to Abraham, Lech lecha v'heyeh bracha, go forth and be a blessing. So too you have been a blessing to your community and your people. And Rebecca was once blessed, Hayila alfei revava, may you grow into many thousands. So too you have helped many to grow and learn and heal and be renewed. You have been a blessing and you have increased blessing in the world. You have caused God's name to be remembered at many times and in many places. You have taught Torah. You have opened hearts in prayer. You have rejoiced with the joyful and comforted the bereaved, offered compassionate witness to suffering, sought justice for those who need justice, prayed for healing, helped children to learn and grow, helped the troubled to find peace. As you have been a blessing for others, may you receive a blessing to go from strength to strength in your work as Klei Kodesh, as vessels for holy experience. May Hamakom, the one who is in all places, come to you and bless you wherever you are, on whatever path is yours to follow. May you be supported in all the world's material, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual, as you support others in all the worlds. Ma'aseh yadechem konena aleinu. May the work of your hands be established for us all. May wisdom be before you, compassion be at your right, courage be at your left, and healing follow behind you. Va'al rashechem shechina. May the holy presence be above and below you as you continue in your sacred work. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. May we strengthen each other as we go forward. Amen.
Amen. Jill, thank you so much. I have to say how beautiful it is to see this screen with everyone here and just to see all of you together and to be sharing with our larger community. This has been a truly meaningful evening. We are so grateful that all of you joined us tonight, those of you on the screen and those of you who are with us in this meeting. And thank you to everyone who made this evening possible. Thank you to the AJR board, the AJR administration and staff, and special thanks to Rabbi Matt Goldstone, James Wham, and Linda Rips, who put so much extra work into this program and the accompanying journal. And thank you everyone who's with us tonight for being part of the AJR community. Whether you have been deeply connected to us for years or are new to us, you are now a part of this very special and beautiful community. We urge you to stay connected. Join us as we continue to build on a pluralistic and inclusive vision of Jewish life. Partner with us as we train our clergy to reach people where they are and to use every creative tool in their toolbox to enhance our Jewish community. Help us to support our students in their studies through this pandemic. And thank you to all of you who have participated in the Tribute Journal. You can also donate now on our website if you did not have time earlier at ajrsem.org. If we were all together, we would spend a lot of time leaving. We would talk to each other and hug each other and really have time to chat and to just enjoy the AJR community. Sadly, we can't do that now, but to simulate it in some way, we are leaving the chat open for as long as people want to stay and chat with each other. So it is open for us to still share as a community. And meanwhile, wishing everyone a good evening. Everyone should be safe and healthy, and let us be sharing together next year in person. Lehitraot.